Hi everyone, I'm Jory, and in this video I will be discussing and reflecting on chapters 42 through 45 of the Tao Te Ching. I will be reading these chapters and channeling into spirit to see what messages come through. Before I begin, let me take a drink of my water. So let's get right into reading chapter 42 of the Tao. The Tao states, the Tao gives birth to one. One gives birth to two. Two gives birth to three. Three gives birth to all things. All things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. When male and female combine, all things achieve harmony. Ordinary humans hate solitude, but the master makes use of it, embracing her aloneness, realizing she is one with the whole universe. Ordinary humans hate solitude, but the master makes use of it, embracing her aloneness, realizing she is one with the whole universe. And that concludes chapter 42. Now this chapter is speaking on the balance of opposites, of course. In the Tao is suggesting that male and female are opposites. And I think it's good to question and be critical of even these types of ancient texts. I'm getting from spirit that the masculine and feminine energies, the divine feminine and divine masculine energies, are what's being referred to here, the energies instead of the sex of human beings. I think that's more aligned with this spiritual terminology and spiritual consciousness that we are in, that I read the Tao to channel more into and connect more to. And so when the Tao says all things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male, I'm going to replace these terms with, and as I do this, I am actually referring to energies instead of specific genders or biological sexes. This is saying the divine feminine is hidden while the divine masculine takes a more active energy. And that's typically how people define these energies, the female being the more creative, the more intuitive energy, while the divine masculine energy is the more active energy. And this in itself is coming from our understandings of gender, which I don't personally ascribe to, because I understand that the feminine energy and the masculine energy, though defined as two binary energies are an extension of one whole energy. So one person can embody divine feminine and divine masculine energy. And what divine feminine and divine masculine really mean? I think that's a good question in spirituality, in spiritual terms. Why can't we just say, why don't we just have one word for all energy? Like chi is a word for energy. However, what's one word for energy? I guess it's just energy. Divine energy. So I really wanted to, I think that's a good talking point. What do we mean by divine feminine, divine masculine, and the divine feminine being strictly the creative, intuitive force, when the feminine energy is the source and therefore is everything, is all energy. Very interesting. So the Tao also says the Tao gives birth to one. One gives birth to two. Two gives birth to three. Three gives birth to all things. So Spirit is telling me this is much like the idea of the Trinity. Like, that's what I'm connecting it to because of Western thought. This is more Eastern thought. This idea of 1, 2, 3. I'm getting that one energy and another energy creates its own energy in a sense. There's a new energy created when one energy combines with another energy. So this could be one person's energy and another person's energy together create a different kind of energy. Those sounds are, if that's coming through in the reading, that's just my stomach. My body makes sounds. It's making a lot of sounds. But in this last stanza in the chapter, ordinary humans hate solitude, but the master makes use of it, embracing her loneliness, realizing she is one with the whole universe. I feel this is clear in the sense that one aligned with the Tao, I've said before, is used to this hermit mode, to this inner journey, so is used to being in their own energy. And being in their own energy is a time and a place that one uses for meditation, and through meditation one reaches, or not reaches, but is able to go in and exist as the Tao, to access their inner light, their inner intuition, their inner wisdom, their inner vision. And in doing so, by embracing this loneliness, this not loneliness, but aloneness, is to be whole with the universe. Chapter 43 of the Tao states, the gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. That which has no substance enters where there is no space. This shows the value of non-action, teaching without words, performing without actions. That is the master's way. So this idea that energy is essentially not physically acting. Energy doesn't have to physically act to influence the space. And I think this is what this is getting at. In the lines, the gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. This is a theme in this text of favoring the softness, favoring the energy of non-action and allowing the flow. To be like water is to be different than to be rigid and unmoving. Water can be hard and can be destructive, yet water gives. Water breaks. And so water can move through tiny cracks and things like that. And what's another thing that's like this that the Tao has also mentioned is the sky, the air, the wind can be hard as well. Yet the wind is soft and giving, in the sense that the wind also can be described as breaking, as being able to move through things. And I think this is especially true for energy, because you can have like an airtight room. You can seal off water, but with energy is kind of smaller than air, but everywhere. And I think that's the Tao. That's the nature of the Tao. That's the nature of spirit and soul. That's why if people can connect telepathically, because distance, time, space doesn't really matter when it comes to energy or chi. Chapter 44 of the Tao states, fame or integrity, which is more important? Money or happiness, which is more valuable? Success or failure, which is more destructive? If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. And that concludes chapter 44. Now, this chapter, I feel I was meant to read this chapter because this idea of abundance is not dependent on what you have. Abundance is a state of mind. It's about, as the Tao states, being content with what you have and rejoicing in the way things are. In the sense that Being at peace means accepting and realizing that you have enough, or being grateful for what you have creates abundance and allows you to be in the energy of abundance. The Tao says fame or integrity, money or happiness, success or failure, these things don't matter. Which is important doesn't matter unless you yourself are fulfilled within yourself, and you can't be fulfilled if you look outside yourself for fulfillment, if you aren't already accepting and at peace and thankful for all the blessings and gifts that you have already. That's when you're in a space to manifest abundance, but the manifestation is not the focus. Realize there is nothing lacking. The whole world belongs to you. Chapter 45 of the Tao states, true perfection seems imperfect, yet it is perfectly itself. True fullness seems empty, yet it is fully present. True straightness seems crooked, true wisdom seems foolish, true art seems artless. The master allows things to happen. She shapes events as they come. She steps out of the way and lets the Tao speak for itself. And that concludes chapter 45 of the Tao Te Ching. In this chapter, the line, true perfection seems imperfect, I myself have at times struggled with the idea of perfection and have only found that in letting go of perfection can you grow spiritually. And that's something that you work on inside. That's inner work to realize that you are already enough. That even if you have nothing, even if you make a mistake, there are really no mistakes. There are really just learning experiences. There's no need to get down on yourself, be worried, feel guilty, feel ashamed. Unless these are actually reactions, or not reactions, but emotions that you're feeling. Feel your feelings. However, don't relive situations and place blame on yourself and dwell, because everything is happening the way it's happening because of I feel it's all artful in the grand scheme. There's an artist in the grand scheme, and that artist is, in these terms, the Tao. And so, just like the Tao, just like the Tao, the master allows things to happen. Just allow things to happen. She shapes events as they come. And so, this line, as I was saying before, this idea that the female is the inactive force, or the divine feminine is the inactive force, the one who is just creative and intuitive and takes no action. This line evidences that the feminine does act if she is shaping events as they come. If she is both allowing and shaping, then she is both the divine feminine and the divine masculine at the same time. So it's not really divine feminine, divine masculine, it's just divine energy. Yet we refer to the Tao as the great mother because the mother, when we think about our bodies biologically, is the creative force. The mother gives birth to the things that do things. And so that's why the Tao is the feminine energy, and the first energy, the way that energy is probably being described, the way that energy seems, if we place these binary thoughts on it, is feminine, because masculine really, I feel, is a construct that is an extension of gender terminology and gender terms, which I will discuss as well, probably. I love talking about the social constructions. And the Tao loves talking about social constructions too, and the illusions that they create and that inhibit us from connecting to our who we are and our spiritual selves. Anyway, yeah. If the master both allows and shapes, and the master is in alignment with the Tao, then the Tao allows and shapes, and so is both the feminine and masculine energy, but is defined as the Great Mother. So there you have it. That's all, folks. This video was discussing and reflecting on the Tao Te Ching, chapters 42 through 45. I want to go ahead and end this reading because I want to get to talking more in depth about divine feminine energy, because that's been coming up a lot today. Not only in my, it has been coming up today, and it has came up a lot yesterday, so I'm feeling inspired to speak more on this Mother Earth, nature, divine feminine, creative, intuitive, active, and inactive energy that is all pervading. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to close this reading out. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. If you resonated with this video, give this video a thumbs up. If you have any ideas about future videos or just simply want to chat, comment. And thank you as we build this community. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for your support. And I want to go ahead and take a moment for us to center ourselves and become aware of our own energy. Breathe in. And out. Ground yourself in the present moment. Yes, yes. Ground yourself. Grounding yourself in the present moment. Love to you, 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 love, 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 love and peace and love and peace and love and peace and love to you. Thank you, I love you. Thank you. Love to you. To my soul, to my love, love to you. Love to you. Every time I say love to you, I'm talking to my soul. Love to you. Love to you. You know who you are. Love to you. Love to you.